Welcome back to the lab, welcome back to EE for everyone. What is this? A new space? Yes, it's another new space, and I'm really excited about this. So, we just launched 2 series. We just talked about how we're going to launch a series about designing an inverter and about designing an amplifier. And now we're going to kick off those projects by designing an ESD monitor. What? Yes, an ESD monitor. And this is neither an inverter nor an amplifier. However, this is very important. See, I was looking at our lab, and basically we don't have any mechanism for determining if the bench is actually grounded. And I noticed I've got 2 ground points, so that means we could build a closed loop resistance measuring meter that basically beeps at you if one or both of those cords breaks. And now I suppose we could just take both of these and just plug into the ground twice, get some redundancy. Maybe that'd be good enough. Maybe it wouldn't. So let's dive in, let's design one of these, and let's see how this project goes. Also, we're going to make this more of like a tutorial series. I know that there was a request for that in the comments, and honestly, it's been a really long time since we did a design walkthrough, and this is a really simple design, so I think it's a great example because we can walk through the detailed design without getting lost in 1,000 details. So I'm really looking forward to this series and what it's going to be as we warm up to this design-centric stuff, and hey, why not? If we're going to do 2 projects at the same time, why not make it 3, or rather get our feet wet before we dive in. Okay, that's enough chatter. Let's switch over to the screen. The reason why the manual is important is because, I mean, there's a lot of these out there, and to be honest, I don't know exactly how these are supposed to work. I don't know exactly what it means to be an ESD monitor. You know, I imagine it will have some kind of current source, or will have some kind of something, either like a current limiting resistor or a current source that's pushing current into the ESD mat, and then we're measuring that impedance, and then we've got some kind of comparator or threshold. Yeah, and basically we want to know if it's high or low. So basically if the impedance is too high or too low, that's what we want to know. Oh, okay, so they have a description of all the ports. Here, let's zoom out a little bit. So it looks like they've got 2 operator jacks, and then they've got a bunch of indicator lights for... Okay, so when the operator fail is high or low, that'd be a short circuit between the 2 wires, or obviously insufficient ground contact. And then the work surface LED. Okay, you can set some thresholds. Ooh, there's some detail. So it looks like you can choose between a 6 and 9 volt limit for what is applied, and a threshold program to be either 10 or 35 megohms. Okay. That seems easy enough. Choose between loud or soft alarm and whether or not you want the mat. Okay, so you can do it in operator only. And look at this. Okay, so they give you an example of how this is meant to be used, and it looks like they're saying to ground the mat independently and then connect the other side to the monitor. And then basically you ground this monitor separately, and then you make this loop between, you know, basically the ground and your outlet or your power strip or whatever. And so if either your monitor becomes ungrounded or the mat becomes ungrounded, it'll throw the alarm. That's actually super helpful. And it looks like they give you an option. If you only have one ground, you can put it right into that terminal block coming into the back. Okay, and wow, that's really about it. So it looks like we need to have some kind of resistor that makes sure that, you know, less than a few microamps is flowing through people. Maybe a selectable test voltage. It gives some power input. Okay. Hey, this looks pretty easy to duplicate. Like as a, you know, just a first pass thinking about how this thing works. And this seems very doable. I think we can definitely build something that will meet this function. It's basically adding a really small current source to apply a small voltage and then basically measure the impedance to ground. So, I'm okay with that. Yeah, Well, I guess that's about all we have for our video today. This was really just a dive into the specifications for this monitor. If you want to check this out, I'll put a link to DigiKey or Amazon or something. They're about $200 if you just want to buy these outright. And yeah, I think we're going to take some notes from this. Like, I think we'll use that same, I think it's using the 1/8 inch mono plug for the operators. And yeah, we'll figure out what kind of connectivity makes sense. Try to pack it into it. Honestly, this box looks huge. I'm going to try to make that a little smaller. And yeah, let's have some fun. Let's build an ESD mat monitor together. Hey, well, I hope you learned something great today, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching EE for Everyone, and thank you for staying till the end. A special shout out to all of our Patreon backers and channel members. Thank you so much for putting some money in the hat and contributing to this community. I really appreciate that a lot. In the next videos in this series, we're going to be laying out the architecture for this design, as well as throwing a rough design into LT Spice and looking at how it functions. Okay, that's all we got for you. See you in the next one.